David Starr did some pit strategy to get toward the front. He's coming to the green.
Green flag back in the air. David Starr on the inside. Austin Dillon takes the green way to the bottom of the racetrack.
That's like Nelson Piquet Jr., isn't it? He didn't get going.
Did not get going. Looks like I don't know if he couldn't get it out of second gear or missed a gear, but
he's up to speed now.
It appears as though he's getting up to speed now. Meanwhile, we're at least three wide
as they go through turn number 2 down the backstretch. It's a drag race once again. Austin Dillon on the outside, and here comes that 18 of Kyle Busch once again. Let's see who has the momentum going into turn 3.
Remember, all these drivers have fresh tires that should be able to hold them down. We're riding with Todd Bodine. I didn't hear him back off. Did you, Michael?
No, and Austin Dillon has been able to hang on the outside of Kyle Busch. No, but at the last minute decided that Kyle maybe wasn't going to give him the track. Let off the gas and pulled in behind Kyle. What great racing we have. Look at these trucks.
Door to door for Eric Almirola in the 30 of Todd Bodine. Now Bodine surges forward. Now the 5 of Mike Skinner on the outside. And here comes Ron Hornaday in the 33 on the inside.
Yeah, Todd Bodine surged forward because of that push from that 5 of Mike Skinner. He can get by here. This is what Todd Bodine was complaining about with Chris Fontaine. See, Todd had to weave his way around Chris Fontaine. Meanwhile, watching his tachometer to make sure that he doesn't speed. Kyle Busch has decided he may try to go around Todd Bodine, and when Todd peels off to head towards his pit, he doesn't do that. And there's our leader right there, the Melling Engine Parts Safe Auto Chevrolet of Stacy Compton.
So we're hearing that Austin Dillon is going to be penalized for removing equipment from his pit box. This is a replay of what took place on pit road.
Keep an eye on this gas can right here. Just did it even go across the line?
Just slid
the yellow line
partially across the yellow line.
The NASCAR official right there.
He was
barely slid across that line.
Yeah, from that angle, it didn't even look like it went out of his pit. Austin Dillon has remained on the racetrack. He comes off turn 4 past the start finish line. He's getting the black flag. See if we can get a different look at this gas can. Did it leave the pit box?
Remember, the yellow line is his pit line, is his front pit line. Cannot take equipment with you beyond that.
Oh man, it just went outside of it.
It's actually even laying on top of the line, the very back of the can.
He'll have to.
So tough break for Austin Dillon. He'll have to come back onto pit road.
That's a drive-through penalty. He has to come onto pit road and run the whole length of this very long pit road at MIS.
88 has blown up, it looks like. We see smoke out of the back of Matt Crafton's truck.
Will that result in a caution flag? Yes.
And the caution comes out. That will bunch the field up. There are 17 on the lead lap. That will mean we'll grab Aaron's lucky dog. That'll put 18 on the lead lap when we restart. But the 88 of Matt Crafton will probably drop out.
Like we said earlier, he was leading the points after 8 races a year ago, down in 7th coming in here to Michigan, and certainly this will hurt that as well. So tough year for Matt Crafton so far. On the other hand, his teammate Johnny Sauter, he's having a great year. He's off to a great start.
And Austin Dillon was right in front of our leader, Todd Bodine. So he will remain on the lead lap, does not have to utilize Aaron's lucky dog and start at the back of the pack. He can start wherever he lines up.
Well, and he did a great job of making sure he got to pit road, like I said, and didn't make any mistakes. You got to get down to that pit road speed and maintain it all the way down pit road. So good job by the rookie.
Gloves just came off of Matt Crafton, and it looks as though they're going to push him behind the wall. So a very unfortunate end of the day for Matt Crafton, and a great day for, or at least a great lap for David Starr, because he gets the Aaron's lucky dog. And
he's
gets
a
lap
lucky
back.
dog.
Look out.
Field all in the hands of the 30 truck right now. Todd Bodine coming back to the green flag. Green goes back in the air, side by side, almost contact. Again, the second place truck cannot beat the leader to the green or to the stripe. And here comes Hornaday.
But the third place truck can beat the leader to turn 1 if he wanted to.
And look who's going to pull out off turn 2. Todd Bodine had a strong run down through turn 1 and 2. He didn't like the way the way Kyle Busch restarted that race, but he didn't let that deter him from grabbing the lead.
Now, 3 wide for second.
Guys, I want to let you know, Kyle Busch is scored as the leader at the stripe. And again, you can't beat the leader to the stripe.
That's 0.02 of a second. If they black flag him for that, then there's something wrong with it.
Plus, he's running 4th right now, sideways, trying to get underneath Timothy Peters. Timothy up to the 3rd spot. Got a crash. Nelson Piquet Jr. off 4, sliding through the infield grass.
The Qualcomm number 15 slides into the grass. The caution comes out. Looked as though contact was made with the 15 and turned him around as they came out of 4.
Yeah, they were very heavy traffic right there that Nelson Piquet Jr. was in the middle of.
Man, he almost hit that softball field. Sometimes when you're good, you get lucky. And in this case, he kind of slid through the infield grass, missed the end of that pit wall by inches, and he's going to get to finish this race. Continues to impress, even though he impressed me that way backwards.
Doesn't look like any damage.
Yeah, we heard Cowboy tell him, just make sure you turn your radiator fan on because you probably have some grass up in those. See if we can take another look at it. He's on the inside. He makes contact with one of those white trucks and then just shoots him down to the inside. Watch this into pit road here. I mean, pit wall.
Close.
Wow.
That would have tore the whole front end of that truck off.
That would have absolutely taken the front end of that truck off.
Let's see if we can see again. He's down on the inside of.
Looks like Justin Lofton in the 7 truck. Justin does a nice job of straightening that truck out.
Heck of a job. And I know what Nelson Piquet Jr. is doing right there. He's got his neck turned to the right, looking at the end of that wall, thinking, oh, no, please don't hit that. Please don't hit that.
There's another view. You see him. He got a little bit loose and had to chase it up the hill a little bit.
Wow.
Boy, Justin does an amazing job.
Great job.
As well as James Busher in that black truck, number 31, to avoid him.
I can't believe he didn't hit that wall. That was amazing. Todd Bodine says, I don't need that. That was a...
Well, it was virtually a dead heat on the restart, by the way, with Kyle Busch and Todd Bodine when they crossed the stripe. So NASCAR didn't even look at that. But that little slide there will put them side by side once again for the next restart.
It's going to be Eric Almirola running in the second position. Krista.
Can do on the start. I think the Hillmans had the same question that I had. You can't beat the leader to the stripe. And again, Phil, you mentioned it was 2/100ths of a second. It was virtually a dead heat, and so NASCAR really didn't even look at it. If it would have been obvious where Kyle Busch beat him by a fender or half a truck, they would have said something, I'm sure. But we take another look at this.
But look at these two banging on each other. This is kind of crazy for a restart. Look at all the room Todd has up to the top. He decides he wants to squeeze Kyle Busch down, and they rub fenders right there.
Now, the other thing is the restart area. Todd Bodine is supposed to restart between the double red line on the outside wall and the single red line. And it looks like Todd Bodine didn't get going in that zone, and the other trucks got up behind him.
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you now. I wish they would change the wording on that rule. You cannot beat the leader to the start-finish line. That was obvious that the 18 beat the leader to the start-finish line. I don't think it should have resulted in a penalty. So I think we need to change the wording of that rule.
Well,
Eric Almirola trying not to give anyone an advantage of the aerodynamic hole in the air, and it's Eric Almirola leading coming into turn 3. But here comes Todd Bodine making the charge on the high side. Down to the bottom goes Kyle Busch in the 18. Coming out of turn number 4. Can Almirola hold him off?
There you go.
Eric Almirola will win at Michigan.
Great job, buddy. Great job. Woo!
Great recovery by Austin Dillon up to the 5th place.
It's the goal to him.
Eric Almirola grabs his 2nd career win in just his 58th start. Earlier this year, as we mentioned, at Dover, he got his 1st win. And now number 2 comes at Michigan International Speedway.
That's one happy young man right there.
You're right, Phil. Circumstances led a lot to that win at Dover. We talked about the fact that he came from 2 laps down, but guys were running out of gas. Guys were running into the wall. Here, he just drove up there and took this thing away from those guys.
We saw how good the 30 truck was today, as well as the 18. Both of them were out front for numerous laps. But in the end, it was the 51 who was strongest. Eric Almirola, after the final restart, took the point and never relinquished it.
Although he Todd Bodine almost got there off turn 2 on that last lap.
So what a great run by Todd and Kyle Busch. Another near win here at Michigan. Not a 2nd place finish, but a 3rd place finish.
Todd Bodine.
It's hard for Ron Hornaday. We talked about Ron Hornaday's struggles at the beginning of the year and the fact that he has now worked his way back up into the top 5 in points. But it's hard to gain ground on the leader when he finishes ahead of you.
It's almost impossible.
Virtually impossible.
Eric Almirola led only 1 time today, and it was the final 7 laps of the race.
Doing some stylish burnouts. That's got to feel good for that team. Not only Eric, but that whole team.